All right, we want to get back to our breaking news this afternoon. A new pope has been elected. Cardinal Jorge Bergoglio of Argentina is now Pope Francis I.
And we are again joined by Bill Thorn. He is a professor of theology at Marquette University and also a journalist and former media consultant at the Vatican. Thank you so much for joining us.
Not a theologian. Communications, church and media.
Okay.
My friends who are theologians would take great umbrage at that if they thought I claimed it.
All right. Well, we would like to ask you some questions, though, about this obviously
please.
momentous occasion today. Your take on Pope Francis. It seems like it's a name that a lot of people weren't expecting, but it's also a name that we're finding out has been kind of on the top list before. We just didn't quite know that at the time.
Yeah. Well, Bergoglio was really in the second tier last time around under Ratzinger. I think most people figured he was just too old this time. He's 76. And with all the talk of youth and evangelization, they said, oh, well, then they're going to have to pick somebody closer to Dolan's age or Tallier, who's 55. Not so. The way this typically operates is that the cardinals will spend all that time discussing. They discuss, first of all, what the problems are in the church. And they have to come to some agreement. And Latin America, even last time around, was a major, major issue. When it was John Paul II, it was Russia and Eastern Europe and communism. There was not much question, and he was a logical choice. Last time, Ratzinger really was pretty well locked in beforehand as a successor. But I remember the discussions at that time about the role of Latin America. 40% of Catholics live in Latin America. And it is a major growth area for the church, but it's also an area where the church is losing a lot to evangelicals and to others. It's an area that has a lot of poverty, a lot of challenges for the church. And so I think the choice of Bergoglio, Francis I, we have to get used to that,
Right.
Francis I really is the Cardinals. The Vatican seeking a bridge into Latin America to be more actively involved there. And Francis I is a unique kind of man as a cardinal. I mean, a cardinal who in Buenos Aires takes the bus, got rid of his chauffeur, cooks his own meals in his apartment, leads a very, very simple life. That's the other part of the thing that they were after, a pope who lives out that simplicity, who cares for the poor, and that's how I read Francis. I really read Francis as St. Francis of Assisi, because that's the Francis, as being concerned with the poor. That was always his first concern, and he used to talk about Lady Poverty being his beautiful bride, that a life of poverty is a life that brings you closer to Christ and allows you to see the plight of the poor better.
Bill Thorn, thank you for the insight into our new pope. Still a lot to learn about the man.
Oh, man. You bet.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.